Yes, yes, we are live. Yes, yes. Okay, let us start. Jai Ramakrishna. Jai Ramakrishna.
Jai Ram Krishna.
Right.
Jai Jai
Namaste
Ramakrishna.
everyone. Jai Ramakrishna. Namaste everyone. Today our topic of discussion is Swami Vivekananda, the friend of all. We are all going to talk about why we feel Swami Vivekananda is our friend. And once some of us finish, then we allow the viewers also to share their thoughts on why they feel Swami Vivekananda is their friend. So first of all, I want to start with myself, why I feel Swami Vivekananda is my friend personally. After that, one by one, we share our thoughts on the same topic. I want to share two stories, two real stories, one from my life and another one is from the life of a thief. So after that, I share two quotations. That's it. These two things I want to share. From my life is in my childhood, I never liked going to school because I was so terrible at studies. Going to school was a terrible thing in my life. I never liked going to school. But anyhow, in our childhood, we don't have a choice. So I go to school every day, and because I did not come I never complete my homework or anything, or when teachers ask the questions, I couldn't answer. I couldn't answer, and teachers always punish me. They ask me to go out and stand in the scorching heat till the morning session ends. That was a routine that happened almost for 3 years. They gave me punishment for 3 years, but there was no change in me. It I also adjusted to that routine. Taking punishment every day, it became a routine. But there was no change in me. But I every day I started to hate myself, hate the school and everything. School was like a terrible thing for me. And during that time, when I was in sixth class, it happened for previous 3 years. One day suddenly my class teacher didn't come. I felt so happy. At least today I can sit in the shade. I was thinking, but our cruel headmaster sent another teacher. So he came, he started asking questions. Again, I couldn't utter a single sentence. I couldn't utter anything. So I started walking out because I know the drill to follow. He said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going out to stand in the under the sun." He said, "No, no, don't go outside. Just sit here." I sat there. After 10 minutes, again he called me. He called me and said, "What is the problem? I'm seeing you every day outside. You can just, this is a simple, the answer for that question was only four sentences, but it was, I couldn't even memorize those four sentences. He explained me in a friendly manner. This is how you have to remember. This is the explanation for this thing. And he made me memorize two sentences there itself and said, "Please try for some time. Let us try." So I tried to memorize it for some time. Within half an hour, I could understand everything and memorized it. And confidently went to him and said, "Sir, I know the answer now." So he asked me the question. I explained it to them. He said, "Arey, then why are you for such a simple thing? For the last 3 years, you have been sitting, you have been standing outside. You can just every day morning you can wake up and read for half an hour. You don't that way you don't have to stand outside. And if you need any help, you can come to my tuition. There I will teach you. I will give you free, for free I will teach everything." And I uh, "Thank you, sir. From tomorrow onwards I will put the effort." Next day I woke up early morning as usual. I made the effort. For half an hour I studied, because in a friendly way he said, "I studied for half an hour." It's a so simple thing, because I was a poor student. They also give me some simple sentences only. So I memorized those. That day I was so confident. I was so confident going to school. I was waiting to go to school that day because I memorized, I know the answers. So I don't have any fear. So I confidently went, and I was waiting for the teacher to ask the question. I answered that. So from then onwards, uh, before that I always fail. Whatever exams they give, I always fail. From then onwards, I always got more than 90% marks. I never got anything below 90%. But that one person, the person, the teacher, that teacher, he didn't punish me. He didn't punish me in a friendly, in a loving way, in a friendly way. He gave a little push in the right direction. That changed the course of my life. That's why I even now also I remember him, the guidance he gave at that time. Before that, many tried to punish me, but there was no change in me. And similarly, another story I will tell. Once a thief wants to steal something, some articles from Pawhari Baba, Pawhari Baba Ashram. So, night time he went to Pawhari Baba Ashram. Pawhari Baba was sleeping. He went inside and he saw some articles. He was about to grab them. There was some noise, suddenly, all of sudden. He was so scared, he started running away from there. Pawari Baba noticed it. Suddenly, Pawari Baba himself picked those articles. He started, he started running after that, chasing that thief. Finally, Pawari Baba caught hold of that thief. Caught hold of that thief and said, Narayana, my lord, these things belongs to you only. Take this. These are not mine. These are yours only. That thief was stunned. Arey, what a sin I have committed. Here is a sadhu who is calling me a lord, Narayana, and giving away his things. What have I done? What kind of person am I to steal from such a kind of a sadhu? He renounced the world in that instance itself. He renounced everything. He renounced everything and he went to Himalayas. He went to Himalayas, became a great sadhu. After some years, he met Swami Vivekananda also. So, in these two stories, in my personal life and the life of the thief, it's not the punishment that changed me or the person, it's the love. It's the love and a little push in the right direction that changed our lives. So, that's why the society is in never in need of any reformers who try to change it. It's only needs some love and some kind of push in the right direction. That's why our friends, we share all our things and secrets also with our friends because we know they don't try to change us in a drastical way or anything. They just love us and give us a little push in the right direction. That's it. Similarly, I feel the same thing whenever I'm in trouble or any kind of a trouble. I remember Swami Vivekananda. I feel the same kind of a thing. So, somewhere, I think Josephine McLeod in her reminiscences, she says, I met so many world leaders in my life. Whenever I meet them, I feel how great they are. But when I am with Swami Vivekananda, he made me feel how great I am. So that way, whenever I feel, I just thinking about them make me feel so great. I'm worthwhile. I'm blessed. My life is blessed. That kind of feeling I get. And there is a quotation of Swami Vivekananda I want to display. He very rarely, Swami Vivekananda, in his entire life, he was so careful about bringing the name of Sri Ramakrishna into the discussion. But here he mentioned Sri Ramakrishna's name also. That's why it has even more weightage. He says, even if my disciples go to hell 1,000 times, I will lift them up from there. If this be not true, then know for certain that Sri Ramakrishna is also false. So he said, whatever be the situation, even if you committed some mistakes or some sinful things, even in that situation also, he is there. He is there to help us something that's is relevant to any person. For suppose one person is completely tamasic, then he says do something, go play football or do some business. There are that person also finds inspiration in his words. Some person who is already active doing so much of things, then by reading his words he kinds the already who are doing some kind of things, they finds balance in their life. already who is doing meditation, those people also find a way to realize even more bigger things in their life. So we feel at every stage we feel he is there for us to help us. So, and he has the audacity to say here that if this be not true, like if even if my disciples go to hell 1,000 times, I will lift them up from there. If this be not true, then know for certain that Sri Ramakrishna is also false. So there is, I think there is no better sentence than this to say his love for humanity, his love for his disciples or anything. So that's why in every stage of my life, just thinking, sitting there and thinking of him uplifts me, and he makes me feel, I always feel he is my friend. He is there to help me in whatever situation I'm in. Worst kind of situation also, the moment I thought about him, just in our life we need physical presence of friends, some kind of connection, but here he is there just with a thought, just the thought of him transforms our lives. So that's why I feel he is my friend. So next, anyone, Navina brother, could you share your thoughts?
ॐ नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरय सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापः. Namaste everyone. Most of the things are already covered by Babu. Why Swami Vivekananda is the friend of all. I want to elaborate on one idea which I feel why Swami Vivekananda becomes a friend of the entire creation. And that idea, probably if I didn't come across that idea, I would have lost hopes on myself and I would not have had any faith on whom we see in society as some kind of lower human beings or criminals, murderers. So that would have been a very chaotic situation to be in. Just imagine that there is no hope for a bad person. How this world would be? So anybody who does a mistake, anybody who does something bad, is gone forever. So if that is the kind of situation that we have to read, and then there is no hope for humanity at all. Swami Vivekananda said, a man may tumble 100 times, it makes 1,000 mistakes, but in the end, he will realize that he is God. And before that, he says, no life will be a failure. There is no such thing as failure in the universe. So these are very important lines. There is no failure in life. So there's no such thing as a failure in the whole universe. A man may fall 100 times, tumble 1,000 times, but in the end, you will realize that he is God. This is very, very important. Uh, so just take into perspective what Baba Amarandini was saying. The Swami Vivekananda gives hope to people who have done mistakes, who have done some sins. So this take it to the almost extreme, saying that every person is going to become perfect. This is something that is very, very important for us. And Swamiji says in one of the speeches that if you were in somebody else's position, whom you call as a sinner, how you would have performed? Who knows? You would have done worse than him. So he always says we have to look upon the whole human race in the most charitable light. That is, we should be sympathetic towards the entire creation. And we always see these great people like Swami Vivekananda, Buddha, and Jesus Christ. So these people love humanity with all our faults. They still love us. So that is the kind of love that God has towards humanity. That same love we'll understand when we read the lives of these great people, because they embrace them, they give hope to every individual. So why I personally feel Swami Kanda is my friend? As I said earlier, personally I was going through some mental conflicts, maybe in 2000, yeah, during that phase. I also feel one more thing that everybody, when they are in their early childhood, most things are very much normal, common to every individual. You don't notice a significant difference, say, till they are about 10 years of age. Then, after that phase passes, You start recognizing each individual's tendencies. They start manifesting themselves. And the individual himself becomes slightly aware of it, but not fully aware of it. But you know that the tendency is there. The tendency could be wrong, bad, great, good, whatever it could be. But there's some tendency that start manifesting as we grow. So when I realized that a lot of my tendencies were bad, I was practically hopeless. Like, where would you get hope? If the normal idea, the way the people, the world treats the people who are having bad tendencies, somebody steals something. I mean, it's not something good, but at the same time, it's not something that makes a man wicked or something who's totally hopeless. But the idea we get towards bad things, not exactly bad things, some wrong things we can call, the way the world looks at it makes the person feel very inferior about himself, and yes, loses all hope. It can start from our school. The teachers will start telling, as Abu Aman was saying, that you are hopeless, you cannot do anything. Swami Vivekananda always used to say, never say negative thoughts. Negative thoughts weaken children. Suppose today I'm speaking here and I had this problem of stammering a lot. You cannot believe how I stammered. I just couldn't get words out of my mouth. Today I can host programs, I can talk, and that is really because of Swami Vivekananda's the kind of a hope that he gave. There was something extraordinary. Nobody ever gave that hope to me in particular and to humanity in general, because that's something to tell that you have that capacity to become great and good. That's very important. And this I take my own instance and I can relate it to almost every individual's life, because it's very important for us to tell every individual that there is that spark of divinity in you waiting to be called out, and at the end of the day, at the end of the time, you're going to become perfect. And one more thing, what Swami Vivekananda says, most critical thing he says, and that really makes me look at every human being as an embodiment of God or greatness. And he says, look back upon yourselves from the state of the amoeba to the human being. Who made all that? Your own will. So can you deny then that it's Almighty, that which has brought you so far will take you forward still? What you want is character strengthening of the will. Now you see, we have evolved somehow we have come this far. We have no idea that we have struggled to come this far, but if we look back upon the evolution, we will realize that we have struggled hard to come here. Every great saint, every spiritual person gives utmost importance to the human being. They say that human being is God. And Sri Ramakrishna used to say, man is God himself. He gives an illustration of in Lanka. Some human beings trespass into Lanka. They are caught by these demons. They're taken into the court of Vibhishana. So Vibhishana had succeeded Rama to the throne of Lanka. Then these people are brought into his court to be tried. Then when Vibhishana sees them, he takes them, he makes them sit, he worships them. And Sri Ramakrishna cries actually after this incident. And he says, what it shows that man is God himself. If Vibhishana was seeing in these people, Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita, and all that, so he was worshipping them. So behind this story or mythology or history, whatever it is, Sri Ramakrishna says that idea is that man is God. So this idea is what we get from Sri Ramakrishna to start with, and it was made more familiarized to us by Swami Vivekananda. This idea we have to repeat it to ourselves. To a man in any state of life, in any kind of degradation, this idea that divinity exists, and in Swami Vivekananda's words, in a man, however vile, does the divinity die. So it's always there. In the worst person, the divinity does not die. So we're all the embodiments and the manifestations of the divine. Swami Vivekananda becomes our friend, everyone's friend, by giving this assurance that there is hope for you. Whatever you may be, there is hope for you. You're going to come up. And only that we need to have the right atmosphere, right kind of awakening. So that's why he said, arise, awake. That is, we should become more and aware of ourselves, our existence, the purpose behind our life. So then we are going to do better things. So that's why I feel at the both at the personal level and at the level of the human beings in general, the Swami Vivekananda is always going to be that one friend who gave hope to every individual. So that is why I feel Swami Vivekananda is the friend of all.
Dada Sachinda, can we have your views?
Yes, namaskar once again to all of you. Uh, I think Navina and Babu have very well expressed those thoughts which were there in mind, and I'm sure it is there in everybody's mind. But when we spoke of friendship, I just thought I'll first tell you how I became friends with Swamiji, or Swamiji became friends with me, and then I'll talk of everyone else. So I am into my own business, and I used to do my business travel. I think in 2009 or 10, I was in Mumbai and I stayed with one of my friends, college friends, and I was given a room which was actually his library. So while staying in that room, I came across this book, Swami Vivekananda biography by Swami Nikhilananda. Okay. I took out that book. I started reading it. I read around 20-30 pages. And since it was almost night, so I thought this book is very interesting. I borrowed it from my friend. I told him next time when I come back, I'll give it to you. Let me carry it. Because I was traveling further from Mumbai and Bangalore, Chennai, etc. So I read that book, and I just found a hero which I was looking for. It was ages where I've been looking for answers like who is God, why do we have to follow these rituals? If God was so merciful, what why are these problems around us, etc., etc. Although this book is a thin book, but it gave a detailed description of who Swamiji was and what he had done for the humanity. So that perhaps lit some kind of a fire where I thought I should buy more books. I consulted some of my friends. They said that you may look for complete works. If complete works comes in around 9 volumes, if it is too much for you, then you go for some other 1 or 2 books and then go for complete works. But somehow I bought complete works from Calcutta Book Fair. Okay, and started reading it. I was not a very avid reader. I mean, rather, I was a very poor reader. Uh, I didn't finish any novel. I don't remember having finishing any novel during my school days or college days. Any novel, even if I took up, I perhaps read it for around 15-20 pages and then I lost interest. Now, there was a difference here. This time, I could complete books after books, and I could consistently read uh, almost 5, 6, 10 pages every day. That was something very, very different for me in my life. Something which made me sit for half an hour, 45 minutes, made me read. I just started thinking that, I mean, what is this happening to me? Okay. Then, of course, I further dived deeper into the books, and after each volume after the other, I completed it. Uh, the simple thing was that a friend never leaves you. I mean, if we see the definition of a friend, friend is something he'll never leave you. So I saw this was one person who left this world in 1902. Okay, I never, I mean, I had heard about him, but I never read about him. But now he is glued to me. There were days when I didn't want to read it, but some or the other, either I'll read it on my mobile through a PDF, or some quotations or something happened that this person was not leaving me. Said this is something fishy. Honestly, in initial 1 or 2 years, I was little skeptical about these things. That am I going in the right direction? Okay, because I've never been glued to anyone like this. Yes, I had some close friends, but this was madness for me. Even my people at home saw me continuously doing it consistently over months, years. Then I realized that I have found a true friend. I further read him, and all my doubts started uh, getting clear bit by bit, not at one go. But I got answers to certain things which I have been asking my parents, my close friends, my teachers for a long, long time. And then, of course, I mean, he's now a more of a buddy. I tell everybody that yes, we should respect him, we should pray to him. But if you call him a friend, you should have the audacity to bring him from the pedestal and put it in your pocket. Okay. So that when you lead your life, he's there near you to guide you. That is what he has been doing to me. Later on, he introduced me to Thakur and Ma. Okay, because it is through him that I got introduced. Okay, again, I am not talking about Swami Vivekananda. I am talking about a very, very ordinary friend who you call Swami Vivekananda. Okay, so this is how it has happened. And now, when I was thinking about Swami Vivekananda, friend of all, so then it came to me, no, he's my friend. How can he be a friend of all? Because by friend, I mean, typically, if you see who were our friends, we were from the same locality, we were from the same school, we were from the same college, same profession, same community, correct? And out of these, who were good friends? Somebody who had similar interests, somebody who in whom we could confide our secrets, somebody who was always behind us, somebody who was encouraging us, right? These were some of our good friends out of the large set of friends that we had. But then all these friends had a physical presence. So, uh, at least, if not physical, a virtual presence these days. I can have a friend in Canada or Australia, right? But Swamiji has, I mean, is not visible to us. So then I realized that Swamiji actually cuts through the time, the barriers that we have put mentally of time, of age, of sect, of caste, of class, of countries, of color of the skin. He cuts through all these barriers and teaches the gospel of humanity, the divinity within each one of us, the God within you, you being God. Now, these are the words which is
He
full
cuts
of
through
love.
all these barriers and teaches the gospel of
This, this, this expression brings love. Love brings hope. Hope brings courage. Courage brings fearlessness. And Swamiji has said that fearlessness in a day or in a moment, rather, in a moment can bring heaven. So, will you not make friends out of people who take you to heaven or bring heaven to you in this very world? I think that is where Swamiji's uh, Swamiji is a friend of all. Because across, I mean, if you see a small child will be impressed with Swamiji, the small belay, okay, the meditative belay, the restless belay, the belay who is good in music, the belay who is good in sports, the belay who is good in academics, right? Younger people who will perhaps pick up his tenets of concentration, strength, fearlessness, courage, faith in oneself, right, to lead a healthy life. Adults who will try to then understand his practical Vedanta, okay, and the oneness of this universe, that you and I are made up of the same material. Even a worm, I would say, even a worm, if he had the capacity to express himself, he would have said, I am Brahman. And he would have also find a friend in Swamiji. That was the kind of bandwidth that Swamiji expressed. And therefore, I have not seen any such friend. I don't want to demean anyone, but any such friend greater to humanity and this entire universe than Swami Vivekananda. That I think is my opinion about why he is friend of all.
Thank you so much, the Balaji brother. Can we have?
Hi, Namaste everyone, and my humble salutations to my Divine Mother Kali and the Holy Trinity. So, let me tell you why he became my dear friend and guide and everything. So, yesterday I was sharing with you that in the year 2002, I got introduced to his teachings in a deeply at Mother Kali temple. It so happened in the year 2008 around. So I was working somewhere. I was doing some work, working somewhere. It was a well-placed job, and all of a sudden, what happened is my health started getting deteriorated. It was a sudden deterioration. I had no explanation why it so happened. So what happened is I had to quit the job. I had no other option. I had to quit the job due to health, and I did it with a hard heart. Then I was reading Vivekananda's books. And then what happened is I then realized that there was some pulmonary tuberculosis and that affected, and I took some medication. After 6 months gap, I secured another job. I thought my life is settled. So I got a dream job. My now my life is going to settle and everything is going to be perfect. And it was from my field of study, biomedical science. So I thought the job, I secured a best job, and it is so close to my house. Just 10 minutes, I can reach the office and come back home, and I can work from home. What happened is again the health started deteriorating, and it was so severe. Though I tried to keep the job, and I was unable to. I had to quit the job either, the job too. So, and it was extremely a big blow in my life that I received, that I could not work. I could not carry forward in the dream job. So within 3 months of joining, I had to quit due to the health ill health, and then I had to I had to suffer for that, and it was a physical suffering. If it was not for Swami Vivekananda, I would have totally got devastated. But and still, it was his image. I didn't even have to read his quotes or anything. It was his very image of the courage with his folded arms that gave me the courage. Though I was bedridden when I was bedridden, I lost my friends and relatives disappeared because no one was ready to help me there. It was my mother alone who was there with me. So everyone disappeared. None was to be seen around to help me then, because I needed people to help me with buying medications and everything then, but there was nobody. And then when it became critical, so I had to get hospitalized, and I lost job. I lost my health, totally deteriorated, gone. I went to the hospital. It was critical, and where you had to spend so much. The treatment went around lakhs, so you had to spend a lot. So now you are losing the wealth. Nothing more worse could happen to you. You lost your friends and relatives. You lost your job. You lost your health. Now the health is gone. And then what happened in the hospital is the doctor literally said that, okay, from now on you can't get up and walk. So you have to come only in stretcher to the hospital. So it is impossible for you to walk because you might get crippled. So it's so severe, your lungs got totally damaged that you might have to carry oxygen cylinder hereafter. But it was Swami Vivekananda. I said, I'm a fighter. I will die fighting. And his courage and his heroism always was in my head. And when I met the doctor, and on the last day when I was about to get discharged, I said, I'm not going to give up, doctor. I'll just get up and walk again, and I'll come and see you. And he said, if that is going to happen, that will be a big miracle. I won't be able to believe. And then when I went home, things were worse because again people are not there. Everyone disappeared. Who will come to you when the health is gone, the wealth is gone? No one. So everyone disappeared. By that time, it was Swami Vivekananda who stood by me. I was still reading Vivekananda's book on the bed, and I still meditated on him. And I always told my mother every night that I'm not worried about death, because even death catches you by forelock, fear not. This was Swamiji's words. And I was so brave about it. No, I didn't even mind if death comes to my this one. I said to my mom, I'll die fighting. So then I decided this is not going to be my life. I'm going to get up and fight. So I tried my level best to get up myself from the bed. And though it was hard, one of my friends came back and he said, I will help you to walk again. So I stood up. Though it was hard for me, I walked literally. So I kept step by step and I started walking. So as promised, when I went to next time to the hospital, I walked few steps to the doctor. And it was actually, doctor was totally surprised that I could not believe my eyes that he was still walking. Still, I had that breathing problems. But next time I told him, before I come here, I will play cricket with my friends and come here. And he laughed and said, okay, let me see. Next time went there, so the date for his appointment came. The day before, I went, I took my bat. I remember asking my brother to bowl to me, and I played at least few deliveries, cricket, and then I went to a doctor. All this courage and willpower, if I have ever received from it was from Swami Vivekananda. He stood by me, and his courage was with me. He blessed me with such a willpower that I was able to come out of all these losses. I lost everything, but as Swami Vivekananda said, I didn't lose the faith. It was him who gave me the faith to fight, and he gave me the courage to fight. And then I've decided. So whenever there was a photo next to my bed, I would see and say, okay, next time, no, I'm not going to give up. So I'm going to start meditating again. I'm going to get back everything I lost because you are there. So then I started meditating again, and the health started restoring. And I didn't mind the losses, but he was there. Is I always felt his spirit around me. I felt his energy around me. So I felt like that, yeah, I'm getting some sort of willpower that I have never felt at any point of time. So I felt that willpower from within, that I started fighting, and then I started meditating for hours. And then I started going alone to temple again, to that Kali Pari. I'll sit in the front of shrine and again meditate. And I had some experiences, I should say, but I don't want to share the experiences. Just Swamiji telling me, "Don't worry, I'm here. You go on." And that courage brought me, it brought me from deathbed to be a person who is going to, persevere in his meditation, who is going to seek something different, a different journey. Though I have lost everything, someone else had been there, those loss would have been a tremendous shock to the person. Swamiji, his presence, his words, and maybe he has given that courage. He was there as courage with me. I was able to fight, restored back, and I restored my health back. Still, I have this asthmatic conditions because the lungs got damaged. So every winter I will have the asthmatic trouble. But whenever I think of Swamiji said, you got the trouble, Swamiji. You fought, now you will give me the courage to fight too. So still, even that was his experience. He had that asthmatic trouble. Still, he didn't stop conquering. He will just literally go, and even in those health conditions, at least we have some medications now. Then we didn't have that much medications. Still, he was able to go give lectures and conquer the world with this mighty power. So I thought, now I should not be giving up. So let me keep fighting. So what can I ever say that, amidst all the losses, when people have given up hope, when everyone said he is not going to recover anymore, he is done. It was his words, his courage, his energy and spirit that surrounded me, that helped me to recover and come back. Today, then I have decided that my journey is going to be towards God hereafter. I'm going to look for whatever I lost. I didn't worry. You're Swamiji, you're God. Then what does it matter who left? What does it matter what you lost? You might lose anything, but you didn't lose Swamiji, his grace. You didn't lose God. So what more you need? Those courage that brought me up. And Swamiji once said he was in a house where he had malaria, and he was about to, he thought his life is departing. So his soul is departing. But he always had the thought, I'm Brahman, I am me, I'm me. Then he recovered. So whenever I feel that health is going down, I will say, okay, I'm not going to, I'm the soul. There's no death for me. And then that courage will bring me up. It was his words that actually, even while meditating, sometimes you will feel like the breathing has stopped. You'll have perfect stillness, calmness. That might, be scary. And some experiences too, you might get that might feel scary. But his words, don't be afraid. Do not be frightened. So I always tell that to myself, even if such experience comes, don't be afraid. Never be afraid. Even if the death is going to come, let it come. So it is going to come to everybody, but don't give up. Fight, keep fighting. So that courage will again bring me back onto track. I'll still meditate. And when I finish off, I'll say nothing has happened. So I'm fine. So his words and his not only his words, his very thought and his very presence, you will fill you with that courage to move on. Everybody might abandon you, everyone might leave sometime. He will not leave. What more can I say? A friend in need is a friend indeed. So he is such a friend that he is not going to leave you, no matter what you are. Even if you do mistakes, he is not going to leave you. He is going to teach you the right. When you do the mistake, he will forgive you and he'll say, keep moving, it's okay. When you fail, he's going to support you, he's going to lift you up. Even your friends and relatives can't do that, but he can do that. That's why I said he's not only my friend, and if he's doing that for me, he'll do it for everybody. And I always feel his teachings suit every part of life, every situation in life. He has a quote or he has an incident. If you think you have lost something in life, he has quote. So don't worry, you're God. So even if you think you are having some problems or some mistakes, you have done some mistakes, don't worry about the mistake. Keep moving forward. The dust of mistakes should be raised in the battlefield of life. So you will have that courage. If you want something about bhakti, yes, bhakti yoga. If you want something about gyan or jnana yoga, yes, book for it. Yes, Raja Yoga and Karma Yoga. He has covered everything. There's nothing that he hasn't covered. Any part of life, any situation in life, if you need guidance, he has it for you readily. Because he has gone through everything. He didn't say out of, just ordinary knowledge. He has gone through in his life the same struggles. He has lost his house. He was sent out of his house. His relatives, he had to give up his house, and his mother struggled. And he suffered from poverty when his father passed away. So he went through everything. He went through struggles. And so whenever when I went through the struggles, I tell my mother, Swamiji went through this, so nothing for me. By his grace, I will also recover. So he always stood by me, not only his words, and I felt his presence, and even the very thought of him will give me the courage to move forward. I was not ready to give up only because of his energy and because of his support. Still, I always feel his support, and whenever I go down, sometimes I feel discouraged. Sometimes, then the very moment I think of him, I'll get some guidance. I'll get his support, and I'll keep moving forward. And so he has not only been my friend, he has been my guide. He has been everything for me. I tell you, he has been my soul. So he will be for everybody. He's a Vishwa Guru. According to me, he's a Vishwa Guru. Yes, solutions for every problem in your life, and every situation he has a way to come out, and he will teach you that. And if you firmly believe in him, if you have faith in him, if you surrender to him, you can feel his presence around you. There is not a situation he will leave you alone. Even when you're in trouble, even if you're in deepest fear, think of him. That will disappear the next moment. You will feel his presence. Thank you. I think I've shared.
Ram Krishna Sharanam. It was good to hear all speakers were sharing their life stories as far as how much Swami Vivekananda has influenced all your lives. And I think whoever are listening to today's talk, many of you are listening to similar stories that also happened in your life. And that is very much common because when Babu was saying incidents from his life in school days, I think that matched many of my aspects of life. Today, I am a principal of a school, but when I think about the post, the position, there are lots of responsibilities. But when I look back, when I was a student in the school, especially in my sixth and seventh standard, I was not a good student as far as the results are concerned, especially the science subjects. And as natural as Babu also said, it is very natural for the teachers to make you backbenchers if you're not scoring well. And a day was also there that even my parents refused to bring report cards from the school when the class teacher used to commence a lot of things. And that really hurts me. And it is very normal if you sit with the backbenchers, then you can your friends are actually the backbenchers, because the good students are not going to be your friends. They consider you as excluded from the intellectual group. And the backbenchers happened at that point of time to be my best friends. And it is very normal as well that most of them were not in good habits. So I also inculcated such habits in teenage, which is very much normal for all youths. And I was in the darkness, and I thought maybe if I can pass the board examination of class 10, it would be much better. But gradually, when I moved into commerce stream, I was scoring well, and I was getting ranks in my ninth standard in ICSE. Gradually, then I got some books to read, which conveyed the message of Swami Vivekananda, especially one book of Swami Ranganathananda, Spirituality for Householders. So when I read that book, I understood that spirituality is a very has a very great dimension, where not only sadhakas sitting back in the Himalayas has a role to play, but we as householders, wherever we are, in any situation, in whichever job or whichever place, student, wherever we are, we can also practice spirituality with the same tenacity. And then I started reading the Vivekananda literature, life of Swamiji, and the various quotations of Swami Vivekananda letters. And gradually I started reading one by one, as my maternal house used to be very near at Belur Math. Then when I scored, I was actually the topper in my 10th standard from the school. And then when I moved into the 11th standard, I thought of sharing Swami Vivekananda's message to all my fellow friends who were very ignorant at that point of time. Because which area I belong is a coalfield area. This area does not have the Ramakrishna Mission centers or a library of that sort where you can go and look into these books or into these philosophies. So I used to buy small thin books from the Ramakrishna Math centers at Belur Math, and then I used to distribute them as a library register. And often the class teacher used to comment that this is a very good practice Orko is doing, and please keep taking books from him. Even I remember one incident happened, that my English teacher was teaching a particular chapter, and there was a mention that there are some person in society who always does good. And immediately the boys and girls in my class, we have also one in our class. And then Miss said, "Who is that person?" And it is Orko Jyoti. Then they were very happy just to share about these things. And then I moved out my school days, and I was doing philosophy honors at President's University in Kolkata, which is a very prestigious institute in Bengal. But I was very much involved, not in those cultures in the university, but very much into the Ramakrishna Mission programs and books. And I was reading more into Swamiji. And I think all of us can relate at that point of time. Swami Vivekananda's 150th birthday celebration was going on throughout the world. And of course, Belur Math was the center to conclude the ceremony. I think 2014, I happened to be the youth participant in that great seminar, where various participants came throughout India who spoke about various aspects of Swami Vivekananda and how it has impacted their life, and what is the future that Swami Vivekananda has dreamt for us. Scientists, writers, scholars, doctors, everybody came. So I was very fortunate to experience that sort of thing. Binayakji was also there as a speaker, I remember. After that, I understood that the usual way of life that a teenager passes through, or a youth passes through, and the things that a youth take interest in this age, I was not taking interest. So I was, in a sense, I was a bit different from them. So when you are different from the society, it is very much normal that you will be cut off from the society, from your friend circle, that ye to mera jaisa nahi hai, and that is very much normal. And then it happened to such a situation. Beside one or two friends, I had no friends, but just hello, hi friends, relationship like that. Then I developed reading Swami Vivekananda, who actually happened to be my friend from my school days. And as time passes by, as you read more and more the reminiscence of Swamiji, your friend becomes closer. I think everybody experiences this, whoever reads Swami Vivekananda. So there are different phases where how Swamiji is becoming closer and closer, to such a point where you will feel that Swamiji is now talking within yourself, and Swamiji is wanting you to do something for others. At that point of time, I realized that my thinking, my writing, whatever I am doing, everything is changing gradually over the years. My parents were not happy with these sort of things. My relatives were also not happy with these changes. Somebody uh, even suggested me to go to a psychiatrist because your boy is moving out of a careeristic life to such a thoughtful process where there is no actual future. Maybe it is a utopian kind of thought, maybe good thoughts, but that will not bring him money. So that was very much normal. But I was growing. Actually, my journey was very alone. I did not get anybody. And that time, to tell, when I was in my school days, there was no social media. So my social media was Swami Vivekananda's books, through which I was going through. Actually, I was not also involved in that social media in that age. I think Facebook was there, but I was not there at that time. Then the social media came when I was doing my masters, and then I thought of including youth members who are like me. And while visiting Belur Math, I have seen very few, so I've started contacting with them. Then using the social media, I connected various groups, and today we volunteer from the visiting pilgrimages Facebook page and YouTube. Lots of volunteers are working for Swamiji, and they are very young. They are less in age than me as well. So I sometimes take inspiration, not sometimes, many times from them. Swami Vivekananda as a friend has been the topic of today that Babu has set for us. So for me, Swami Vivekananda is the only friend that I have gone through my whole life. The other friends, of course, they have their own roles. But as far life struggles are concerned, as for not only life struggle, even every facets of life. Suppose when we are eating food, I just talk with my wife that Swami used to like this. Whenever we move out, when we go through train or bus, every aspect we think of Swamiji. So Swamiji has become a part of our life, not of my only. I think all speakers, all panelists over here, Swamiji has become a part of all our lives in such an aspect that we have started thinking like Swami Vivekananda. Whatever any topic or anything that comes up to our mind, we first raise what Swami Vivekananda would have thought or would have told or have told, then Swamiji has told. Because Swami Vivekananda has touched so many dimensions of human life, I think it is an impossible task to find any dimension that he has not touched. So he has his own dimension. It is so huge, ananta, if we say, infinite. As a youth, we have many problems. Let us not move away from that. We face many problems in this age. And Swami Vivekananda, at that very time, as Sachinji said, that we cut across, or he cut across all time and space, all this we have built in our mind. So Swami Vivekananda, I think, in a different way, he's our friend, so I think we can use this term. So he was very clever. He understood that the future challenges that man is going to face in future years, I need to address this, because if I want to remain young to my young-hearted fellows, as he always said, I do not want to see myself in 40s. So I need to address these issues in this very time. And Sharat Chandra Chakrabarti happens to be that blessed person with whom the Talks with Swamiji book we are available, the Sami Shishya Sangbad in Bengali, where he happens to answer, I think, most of our questions that youth faces today as a challenge or as a nation building. When we think about our nation, what is the role that we can do, or what are the challenges, how to face those challenges. I think Swami Vivekananda has nicely given every solutions to that book. Maybe he has not given solutions as to what problems we are having in the social media, how can we relate to that. But Swamiji's core message has touched all these aspects. If we read Vivekananda deeply, complete works, I think we will find the answers. All of us find the answers. Friend of all, yes, he is a friend of all, because Somebody sees Swamiji as a very stylish person. Somebody sees Swamiji as a patriot. Somebody sees as a saint. Somebody as a friend, very closest friends who can always just talk about anything with Swamiji. And actually, Swamiji was like that by his very nature. If you see the reminiscences of the Western disciples, so Swamiji was of that character, that he was not so much serious as we feel that when he's giving lectures, always he's in a lecturing mood. So Swamiji was not like that. Or what we get is just a partial part of Swamiji. But Swamiji was very close to us, and Swamiji was like us, very normal human beings. He used to joke, he used to laugh. And we also, as human beings, when we read Swamiji, as everybody, we must feel as newcomer who are listening to this audio, who are newcomers, who are beginners, we must see Swamiji as a possibility within us, as a very good initiative where we can experiment with various things with Swamiji. When I when my father handed the school over to me, it was actually a big challenge. So many students and teachers, and to take such great responsibility. But I then felt that what would have Swamiji done if he would have come to this? Swamiji suddenly would have not given a lecture on Karma Yoga on the first very day to the young minds of the small children who do not know about karma and do not know about yoga, mostly the yogic postures. Swamiji would have asked them to please come to my room, let's have gossip. So I also started the school in that sense. Gossip doesn't necessarily mean talking about anything. Gossip, even in religious discourses, the essence of religious truths can be also in the form of gossip. And gossip has its own essence because it touches both the speaker and the audience on a very personal level. So Swamiji for me as a friend is very special, as far as my life has been totally changed after reading Swamiji. And surely if I would have not got the books of Swami Vivekananda in my teenage, when I see my other friends are leading a bad life, I see my colleagues, they are leading a very bad life. So then I said, I would have been at that same position. So, so this is a great thing for that I was blessed in the very young age. I happened to read Swamiji, and I would recommend all those young readers just not to listen here and there about Swamiji, but read on a serious level Swami Vivekananda, the reminiscence of Swami Vivekananda, life of Swami Vivekananda by his Eastern and Western disciples, these books, Talks with Swamiji, Letters of Swami Vivekananda, where you will get a new dimension of life. Whatever you are doing, in whichever level you are doing, you will enjoy that work, and not only enjoy, that work will become a part of your sadhana. As Swami Vivekananda always emphasized, sadhana is not just sitting back and meditating, but in your work, how to make your work a worship. Swami Vivekananda has nicely done that. And today, whatever stress or what all suicide, all these things that youth faces today, all these problems that we face today, I think if we read Swami Vivekananda deeply, these problems will vanish in seconds. Not only that, we will do great work, that will benefit us, and that will benefit the whole world at a greater level. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Babu, volume.
Yes.
Unmute yourself, please.
That's it. Anyone wants to say anything? Praneeth or Gaurav, our new friend, he has joined. No? Yes. Brother, Navina brother, can we have concluding words?
There is Parambrata. Is this person there?
He is not here. Actually, he wants to talk earlier, but he's not here now.
So, friends, we have come to the end of our second day session. So, we have discussed how Swami Vivekananda is the friend of all. There is also a book by name Swami Vivekananda, the friend of all. We should definitely go through that book. And as we all discussed, we got various insights from Babu, from Sachin Thakurji, from Balaji, and Arkade, and I myself shared some of my thoughts. So we find that Swami Vivekananda, we have experienced that he's always standing by us. I was just talking the other day in Swami Vivekananda's talk in Chicago. He says, what happens to the person who becomes perfect, who realizes God? So the person who becomes mukta, who realizes God, becomes God, he becomes infinite. So he's eternally present. So basically, Swami Vivekananda is with us, is guiding us, is always there for us. So there are so many instances of people from different walks of life having that guidance receiving from Swami Vivekananda. So we all can be sure that, as Swami Vivekananda himself has said, he is going to be there as spirit, inspiring everyone until we all realize that we are God. So until we come at that perfection, Swami Vivekananda is always is leading us by hand and will take us towards perfection. So with this, we will conclude our second day session. So we look forward to see you again tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. So the links will be shared on YouTube and also Facebook. Thanks a lot for joining us. Hari Om, Namaste.
Jai. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.